A student spends weeks designing a water purification prototype in science class. Another writes a community history blog, interviewing local elders and linking archival photos. A third runs a successful online Etsy shop, applying concepts from economics and digital marketing. None of these show up on a traditional report card, yet they represent deep learning and transferable skills. This is where portfolios, digital badges, and authentic demonstrations come in. They let students show, not just tell, what they know and can do. In an era where colleges and employers are rethinking how they evaluate readiness, K-12 schools have a powerful opportunity to help students build records that reflect actual ability. A GPA or standardized test might not say something about compliance or memorization, but it rarely captures creativity, problem solving, initiative, or communication. These are the things that matter in real life and increasingly in the admissions and hiring process too. Skill portfolios are curated collections of student work, often accompanied by reflection. They can include essays, videos, prototypes, research findings, peer feedback, and screenshots from collaborative projects. When introduced early and structured with purpose, portfolios help students track growth, set goals, and own their learning story. A sixth grader might document progress in writing, sharing first drafts alongside polished pieces. By high school, that same student could include a multimedia campaign that led for a local nonprofit or a coding project shared on GitHub. Digital badges take this idea further by offering microcredentials for specific competencies. These are not the cartoonish badges from classroom behavior apps. They are verifiable, standards-aligned symbols that show mastery of a skill or completion of a challenge. A student might earn a badge for digital storytelling, for conflict resolution during peer mediation, or for analyzing primary sources in social studies. When these badges are backed by evidence and criteria, they become meaningful signals to outside audiences. Authentic demonstrations, the third piece, bring performance into the equation. Instead of describing learning, students engage in tasks that mirror real-world contexts. A capstone presentation, a service learning project, or a mock legislative debate allows them to apply knowledge publicly. These experiences don't just build confidence, they give evaluators a chance to see learning in action. For example, a ninth grader might defend a research thesis before a panel of local experts, fielding questions and revising based on feedback. The benefit of this ecosystem, portfolios, badges, and demonstrations, is not just in what students collect. It's in how the process itself fosters deeper learning. When students know their work will be shared, evaluated, or reflected on beyond the classroom, they become more invested. It also shifts assessments from something done to students to something done with them. So how do schools make this happen? It starts with a mindset shift. Instead of asking, did students pass the test, ask, what do they have to show for their learning? Then build structures that support that question. Begin with regular moments for students to archive and reflect on work. Use simple platforms like Google Sites, Seesaw, or Notion to house portfolios. Incorporate badging systems that are co-created with students and linked to rubrics or performance criteria. Encourage teachers to weave authentic tasks into units. This doesn't require scrapping the curriculum. It might mean ending a science unit with a community presentation instead of a quiz, or having students record an instructional video explaining a math concept to younger peers. Importantly, don't isolate this to seniors. Start early. A third grader might curate a folder of their most proud work from each quarter. A middle schooler might begin tagging skills in projects. High schoolers can work with advisors to align their portfolios to college or career interests. Administrators can support by allocating PD time for staff to calibrate on what authentic looks like. Districts can establish portfolio showcases or defensive learning events that invite families, community partners, and peers to engage with student work. Colleges and employers can be brought into the loop, offering feedback on what kinds of demonstrations resonate with their selection processes. The impact of these efforts goes far beyond application season. Students learn to articulate their skills, reflect on their growth, and take pride in what they've created. They are no longer reduced to numbers on a transcript. They become storytellers of their own learning journey, equipped with evidence that speaks louder than any letter grade ever could.